You know, most people wake up and they just want to have a peaceful, loving, relaxing day. I chose violence for mine.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always!
Let me give you some context. As a very small YouTuber, one of the most important things that you could do is to foster good relationships with your peers. Your peers in this particular case means other YouTube channels in your niche. I make retro content, others make retro content, we should be friends, you know, we should be like, I got you, bro. And the last thing that you should do is to criticize these channels. As a small channel, you need to keep your mouth shut and basically praise everyone and just move on and grow organically. But there's one problem, and that is that I'm Eastern European, and we criticize the things that we love, and we do this out of affection and out of love and out of care. So when somebody criticizes you, it means that they love you with a similar kind of intense love that you can also show towards me by subscribing to this channel, which I would appreciate, and you would instantly know that someone far away, me, loves you. You, yes. So anyway, I thought that it would be a totally awesome idea and totally non-destructive to make a top 5 tier list of the best and suckiest retro channels that most probably we're all following and we all know about. And remember, just so I don't have an army of fans coming towards me and wanting my head, remember that this comes out of love, okay? I love these channels as well. I'm subscribed to all of them, but they are not perfect, and we need to talk about the things where they suck and where they are awesome. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. And the first on my tier list is no other than ETA Prime. And quite frankly, I respect ETA Prime. I respect ETA Prime as I would respect Scrooge McDuck, okay? Or as I would respect the Rockefellers or the top 1%, billionaires, Bill Gates, because this guy is the definition of a company-friendly channel. And this is not a bad thing. This is part of his charm. But he can be in front of a deal-breaking flaw on a product that he's reviewing, and he would be like, well, I don't think that this is necessarily the best optimized way in which they could have gone about this. And I love seeing that. While I love softness, I also love people giving me the direct tea, telling me when a thing is good and when a thing sucks, even at the detriment of maybe upsetting a company or two. But I think the quality of the reviews suffers a bit when you're not as critical as you should be over products. But again, I respect ETA Prime. I'm convinced that he's gonna be one of the most profitable retro/review channels out there, because from a capitalist point of view, he's doing everything right. Checkbox after checkbox after checkbox. You simply can't compare that to idiots like me that speak their mind and, you know, to hell with the consequences. I just wish, if ETA Prime is listening, I would love to see you more critical on reviews that actually deserve criticism. But anyway, the second in our list is no other than Taki Udon. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. And I have a very controversial take on him. I agree with most people where they say that he's a bit too egocentric, he's too full of himself a bit, but I love his reviews. He's going really in depth with them. He gives actual value. Look at his last video about how the Nintendo Switch Lite is still a good handheld in 2024. The mother flipper installed 1 million operating systems just to showcase the pros and cons. He put Linux on the Nintendo Switch Lite. He put Android. He ran emulators. Things that the viewer would want to see before investing time and energy into a freaking Nintendo Switch. So in terms of quality of information, I like how he delivers things, but I can't respect the whole scandal. I think it was with him and Retroid, where he said that he helped design the, I think, Retroid Pocket 3 or 3 Plus.
Yes, you read the title correctly, and no, it's not clickbait. I created and designed almost everything in this.
Like, that's a bit too much for me, you know? That's a bit too much self-esteem. Yes, yes, there is such a thing as too much self-esteem, and I think Taki is one hell of a guy with one hell of a YouTube channel, but, you know, tone it down a bit, my dude. And just a tiny bit. So I think Taki is perfect for the C tier. The C tier is the perfect middle ground. He has a very good, in my opinion, remember, it's all subjective, he has a very good YouTube channel, the quality of information is fairly good, but there's a bit of drama there, a bit of ego, a bit of megalomania. But yeah, I don't think his channel should be shoved aside. And the next in line is Retro Game Corps. I'm gonna be honest, I love Retro Game Corps. He's also very company friendly. If I criticized ETA Prime about this, I have to criticize Retro Game Corps a bit, but not to the same extent. In fact, I would do it very conservatively, because Retro Game Corps isn't afraid to dish out criticism. Just watch his review about the Anbernic RG35XX H. He did not hold back on the fact that Anbernic could make things way easier for the people that do custom firmwares for these devices, and I loved him for this. This is the kind of content that I like. Retro Game Corps, for this, has totally earned my respect. He needs, and everybody running a YouTube channel needs to sometimes be critical if that criticism is very well valid, even if you upset a company or two. That's the deal of the business, and I think this guy is very balanced in his reviews. He also tends to be a bit too positive when he reviews things, in my opinion, but there's way more balance there. And it's from him that I learned about the famous Contra test, where you check out how accurate the D-pad is. So yeah, I think he goes in the B tier. And now we're going towards my top 2 favorite channels. I couldn't think of this retro niche existing for us without these 2 channels. These 2 channels are amazing. When these people eventually close their channels, the gods in Valhalla will weep. That's how good they are. So, number 2 is one of my personal favorites. It's Scott the Woz. I don't know how many people know about Scott the Woz, but this channel is amazing.
Ah, hey y'all, Scott here.
He isn't necessarily reviewing emulation handhelds, that's not his jam. He's more into reviewing old consoles, old handhelds, reviewing games from different generations, and he's going in depth with them. And his humor is amazing. It's god level. I know that if I ever would go to prison, there would be Scott there, the only person who would visit, with a cake that instead of a file would have a PSP in it or a GBA, so that I don't go freaking crazy in my 40-year sentence. Scott would be there. His humor is unhinged, but in the most perfect, pure, amazing way possible. I am simping for Scott the Woz, because that guy deserves to be one of the biggest retro channels on YouTube. So he's going in the A tier. I'm reserving the S tier for the god himself, for the best channel in this whole retro emulation sphere. And the number 1 channel, the one that gets to be proclaimed god of the retro emulation sphere, is no other than TechDweeb. TechDweeb might not be one of the big channels out there. In fact, he's just coming very close to 60,000 subscribers. But his charm and his antics and the way in which he just conveys his passion into whatever thing he talks about just makes you want to love the thing that he's talking about, and him as well, and Canada, because this guy is from Canada. This guy should be the Henry Kissinger of Canada, working in diplomacy and making Canada look good on a world scale. I love this guy. If I'm ever on a deathbed and TechDweeb would be right next to me, I would be like, hey TechDweeb, take this key. This key opens a box that's far away from here where I hid all of my retro handhelds. Take care of them. Give them the life that they deserve. And TechDweeb would be like, you got it, buddy.
Are you happy now?
And then he would ask me, but can I play with them? And with my dying breath I would be, hell no. And he would take care of them. He would make sure that all of my retro consoles are in a pristine condition moving forward. Plus, as I said, I'm Eastern European / Romanian. A lot of people think I'm Russian for some reason. I am not Russian. But TechDweeb was also one of the first people that subscribed to my channel, and that meant so much to me that I just kept on going, and I will keep on going making videos. And I'm predisposed to answering positively to bribes. So I got a subscription, he got the S tier. I'm joking. I'm not joking. So if you don't know about TechDweeb, do yourself a favor and go to his channel, but not before you subscribe to my channel. First subscribe to my channel and then go to his channel, subscribe to his channel as well, and live your best life. And again, to reiterate, I love all of them. I know maybe I was too critical on some, but that criticism comes out of love. You know, my heart is full of different ways to express affection. And in this case, if I gave any hard criticism, it's only because I expect so much from these channels. These are our beacons, okay? We form opinions based on them. Think about it. Our purchases are based on what they say. Think of the trust and the power that we give them. I'm convinced I annoyed a lot of people with this, maybe outright pissed a few off. But what can you do? You can't please everyone. So, if you stuck around for so long, and if you like the content that I do, you can actually help the channel move forward, because this channel is just me, by becoming a member. Any new member brings so much joy in my heart, and super nerds actually end up on this wall of fame, which will be featured in each and every clip that I do. But if you don't want to be a super nerd, you can contribute anyway. I really just appreciate the gesture more than anything else. In the meantime, if you want to hear more of me, make sure to check out this clip over here, or this clip over here. And until next time, I love you very much. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? You are a part of my soul.